All right. We are live yet again. This is the BTonez Podcast, aka the ToneMasters Podcast. This is BTonez, Brad Tramel. I know it's been a while, but today, after preceding one of our famous holidays here in the States, Thanksgiving, I have a wonderful opportunity to sit down with a lovely young lady to talk about health. And there's nothing more important than health, because like I always speak about, health is wealth. If you are not feeling well, you cannot go out and accomplish the many plans that we have that we spend hours toiling over, figuring out what we're going to do. If our health is not right, so many other things can go wrong. This is one of the chief things that we should be concerned about and take care of. And even as we step into a new year coming soon, I know a lot of us have health ambitions. I felt like this was a perfect time to sit down with Coach Eboni and talk a little bit about not only men's health, but hearing from a female perspective too, for females' health as well. So I want you guys to give her a nice round of applause. Coach Eboni, tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're residing, what's going on in your life.
Of course. I am so very happy to be here. I'm Coach Eboni with Fit 404. I currently live in Atlanta, Georgia. I've been here for over 20 years. What I've realized is that getting in the gym is just super important, and making sure that we remain consistent with it is even more important. Not always do we want to necessarily, everybody's goal is not to be, the biggest person in the room or the skinniest person in the room, but maintaining your health should certainly be a priority for everybody.
Yeah.
And my goal is really to spread the gospel of fitness to anybody that is willing to listen. And sometimes I have to tell people that don't want to listen, because that's just what we need to be doing.
So this is a profound mindset to have, because as you know, it causes us to get away from comfort. We know the gym is going to bring sweat. It's going to bring pain. It's going to bring pain. How did you get to this mindset to find out or actually believe that it is of the utmost importance?
When I really started going to the gym consistently, I saw, not only did I see my body change, my mind changed, the way that I navigate my day changes, the way that I approach people is different. And I'm just looking through a different lens ever since I decided to make fitness a lifestyle and not just a fad.
Very powerful. I also can add, I implemented it. I used to be the famous brother to go to the gym after work in the afternoons. I don't even know how, right now, I don't even know how I used to be able to sustain that, because now I go in the morning, like between the hours of 5 and 6 a.m., and it just kickstarts my day. And I was like, how did I have enough energy to do it back then? But I find that going in the morning is much more rewarding. Of course, we get the hormone boost after we leave because we made that big accomplishment. I wonder, is it the same for you? Do you work out in the mornings or in the evenings?
I do. So it's funny you say that, right? Because when I first started this fitness journey, I certainly was working out. Like, I was a 4:15 p.m. girl. Like, that's just... Yeah. That was my lane. I'm like, I could never be one of those 5 a.m.ers, the 6 a.m.ers. Like, who are those people? And like, who are they? I don't know who those people are. Right. But as a couple of things changed, right? We just talked about getting older. Yeah. So me getting older, my energy was just different as I, navigated this fitness journey. And my schedule changed. So, my daughter, I no longer had my daughter to prioritize earlier in the day. So I now have the time to focus on Coach Eboni. So then I made the switch. I crossed over into the 5 a.m., 6 a.m. world. And it is it's on a different level.
It is.
Folks, like the folks that are there at 5 a.m., every class has its own personality, right? Okay. But the 5 a.m.ers, those are the folks that are like serious about their fitness, about their health. There really is no talking. It's just like music. Everybody's working out. It starts at 5, it ends at 6, and everybody's doing their own thing. Yes. At 4:15, right? You get there, everybody's chattering, and how was the day? There's a lot of socializing, and then you'd work out. Sometimes there's some socializing during the workout, right? And then afterwards, there's all of this talking. So like every class has its own personality, but I definitely feel like when I assess the different classes, to me, this is just Coach Eboni. I feel like the older folks, people my age, are working out in the morning. And the younger crowd, because they have more energy, they're young, right?
Yeah.
They work out in the afternoon. And so I just have found my lane. And so, my lane is like 5 a.m., 6 a.m. That's my jam.
It feels good to settle in your lane. Let me tell you. I equally share your perception of what happens in the morning versus the afternoon. The one thing I really remembered that used to bug the mess out of me was in the afternoon when I went, like the gym is full, like all the machines that I want to work out on, they're being occupied. And then in addition to that, people are not actually working out on the machines. They're listening to music or they're chatting with somebody nearby. Because like you said, there's a lot of socializing. But in the mornings, it's just like what you say. People in there, they about business. Everybody has headphones on. And I think the one thing that started happening now, because people see the same faces over and over now, when me and my brother go, we now have graduated to getting head nods from people.
Oh,
yeah, you know that feeling. Yeah, we in it because they see it, they go like this. Just like that. They go like that. And I'm telling you, once that happens, that's how you know, that's like your initiation for getting in the groove, man.
Yeah, you're legit now. You are absolutely legit.
But what I want to do is, I know there are a lot of people who I have talked to who still find that difficult to get that motivation to jump in there, whether it be morning or evening. Sure. Morning is a little bit more difficult. I think that's like the mid-tier, the upper tier level. It's like once you just get in there, then you decide what time. But I know for myself, it's the seriousness of it all started, just like you said, the realization of getting older. Also the realization of the fact that, like, this really sunk in with me. It's like the better we can provide exercise and nutrition for our body, the longer we can live. And the more you stave off not only sickness, but common, diseases and arthritis and muscle pains and back pains that I saw a lot of evidence with my family. I told myself, I don't want that. I want to be able to get up and move around whenever I'm able to. If there's something that should happen where I need to protect myself or someone else, or if I should be able to lift or move things around the house, I don't want to be in a position where I'm out of breath, where I am weak. I don't even want to feel it. And as a man, I know we look at it, a little bit differently, men from women, but as a man, in my psyche, I was like, that's not going to be me. And that motivation to not be me is kind of what kickstarted me to take it seriously, in addition to the fact that the world is recovering from COVID. And health is now a priority among so many people. Organic foods, proper vitamins and herbs and stuff that I had to look into. Those types of gems of knowledge, they all help, like black seed oil, taking maca root, taking sea moss, taking so many other supplements that I have now in my cabinet has just helped me to be, I can't remember the last time I've been sick. So those are kind of like the motivating factors for me when I was getting into the gym, and the reason why I have a routine right now. I wanted to know, kind of what yours were.
So when it comes to fitness, I kind of steer away from the word motivation, honestly.
Okay. Right.
And the reason I say that is because motivation doesn't get you in the gym, right? Because I work out probably 5-6 days a week, right? Okay. And I am not motivated 5 or 6 days a week to go to the gym. What gets me in the gym is discipline.
The D word.
Yes.
The D word.
That's what gets me in the gym. That is what I've done this for so long, not for so long, but I've done it quite a bit where now when I don't work out, my body is like, girl, what are you doing? Like, why haven't you moved your body? With women in particular, our cortisol levels are crazy in the morning. It's crazy. And so when we work out first thing in the morning, it allows us to level those cortisol levels. It levels it out, and you will naturally feel a difference in your day. You're not so like anxious. You're not so like quick to just, go off. I'm not saying that it takes it away completely, but there is a significant difference when you work out consistently and you form that discipline to get you in the gym every single day. So I'm not motivated every day. Even though my I'm Coach Eboni, I'm not motivated every single day, but my discipline, what I've taught myself over these years, keeps me getting in the gym, going to the gym, should I say.
I love that. I love it because it is all about the famous D word that nobody really likes. And I'm just share a personal story about that. Every time I would hear that word, to me, it's like a gut check. Have you been accountable to what you said you were going to do when nobody else was around? And this is one thing I learned from, I think it was Les Brown. He talked about this. He's like, when you break your word to yourself, it is so much more detrimental.
Absolutely.
Because the voice that you tend to hear the most is your own voice. And if you know that you cannot be accountable to what you promised yourself, how can you hold yourself accountable to what you promised somebody else? And you and I, we come from the same generation, 80s babies. We know that word is bond. We know that, especially for a man, it's like, your word is all you have. And so when you give, of course, you do that with caution. The word of God also supports this saying, let your yea be yea, let your no be no. Don't swear by anything. Just be true to what it is you were saying. So when I started to do that, it was a magical moment, man, when your discipline like actually kicks in, when your subconscious does like what you said. It's like, girl, why haven't you gotten up yet? I have the same thing, but mine, speaks in a little bit more laid back manly tone. Like, yo, was really good. Like what you do, you really gonna sit here all day in this office and just type? You're not gonna get up and And now it doesn't do that in such a condemning way, but it's like a conversation. It's like, come on, man, you know what the deal is. You know what the deal is. It's like, let's get it.
You know better.
Yeah, you know better.
Yes.
It takes the practice and it takes the reps for the subconscious to start kicking in like that.
Yep.
And that's the only place we're trying to get people to. If you go, what is it? I think like you do something 7 times, it becomes a habit, between 7 and 10 times.
Yes.
If you can consistently just knock out that little chunk, 7 steps, get in there 7 days in a row, promise you by day 8, your body's going to be like, all right, I guess this is what we're doing now. So
And here's what I like to tell people, because, we go on these fads where we're like, oh, I'm going to the gym. I don't go to the gym. I go to the gym. Right. And so what happens is we burn ourselves out. Right. So when we're in that season of, I want to go to the gym, we start on Monday and we go for 7 days straight. Right. You're going to the gym. You are, maxing out on all the things. And then when you get to day 8, you're so freaking tired that you don't know what to do. Like, you're sore, you're tired. You know what I mean? You're like, why am I doing this? So for somebody that is beginning, right, I recommend you go a couple days. You go Monday, Tuesday.
Okay.
You take a rest on Wednesday. Right? You think about your life choices that you did on Monday and Tuesday.
Your life choices, right?
Yes, right? Especially if you go see a coach like Coach Eboni, right? You're like, I mean, I like her, but not really, but I like her, Yeah. So Wednesday, you take a day of rest. Then you go back on Thursday. And you're like, okay, I can see myself do this. Maybe you take Friday off. Or if your body says you're good, then you work out on Friday. And then we repeat, we rinse and repeat, right? I'm saying all of this to say, take breaks. You don't have to go 7 days in a row to create that habit, right? You first need to come up with a workout plan that is doable and that will help you remain consistent. So if it's 2 days on, 2 days off, then do that. And then see what happens. But we just burn ourselves out so quickly that by day 8, you're like, I never want to see a gym. That's not the goal here. This is a lifestyle. It's a lifestyle.
This is valuable information with the new year coming up. And we know about, we were joking one time offline. It's like, we know that the gym is probably the worst place to be in January. You got to wait like 2 to 3 weeks after the new year for those people who tend to burn themselves out to finally like, I hate the gym. And now the gym is back to its regular community, you know?
Correct. It's so funny. After we had that conversation, I went and did a reel on Instagram on just like being in the gym right now, realizing that it's 1 month left where it's quiet, nobody's in the gym, because in January, everybody's going to be in there. There won't be any equipment and all the things will be happening. So, yeah.
It's like kids at recess, man. They run in there, attack all the machines. But I want to bring up a point that you made, is that the rest is super important. Not only listening to your body and so forth, because the soreness is going to be an issue, especially if you ain't done nothing. Your muscles going to be like, hey, what in the world you doing? You're breaking them, you're ripping them apart. And when they're repairing, that's when you feel all that soreness. And some people really, really don't like the soreness, but I look at it as the tuition for transformation. Because when that happens, you know that muscle is now stronger when you get back in there. Another life lesson I have real quick about that. I broke my femur bone when I was about 11 years old. If you don't know what that is, it's your thigh bone. And it's actually the thickest bone in your body. And I snapped that thing in two. But now, because it was broken, I remember the doctor used the term when I was taking my cast off. And he told me, he was like, your bone is now ossified, which means it's gotten harder. I was like, whoa. What does that mean? So what it means is your bone, when it repairs itself, it's now strengthened to take on any type of blunt force that it may have experienced before in which it broke. Your muscles do the same thing, man. We're fearfully and wonderfully made. So definitely take your rest, take your breaks, but just know with every exercise, you're getting stronger. You may not see it just yet.
Right.
It's a process. It's happening.
But people will be surprised to know that your muscles and your body actually grows when you are resting. When you are sleeping and you are in that rest state, that is when your muscles grow. That's where you get the results, right? So recovery is just as important as the actual workout.
Okay. Now, you got to be careful, Coach Eboni, because it sounds like you give me an excuse to stay in the bed and just rest.
No. I'm not saying rest 7 days a week.
Okay.
What I'm saying is it is important that you get that rest in between your workouts. You should certainly get your rest for sure.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So currently, I know you have some things going on. You're a coach in Atlanta. I know you have a promotion that's going on. I don't want to talk too much about it. I want you to go ahead and explain it because it sounds intriguing. And I know there are going to be a lot of people who may see this who might be interested to sign up.
Okay, so I have rolled out a 12 days of fitness challenge.
All right.
And what that is starting December 8th through December 19th, I will be uploading 12 new videos, or actually one new video each day for all of the folks that sign up for this challenge. And you know how the song goes, the 12 days of Christmas, right? It's a song that kind of builds. So the first day we have one exercise. Day two, we do day two's exercise plus day one. And then day three, we do day three, day two, day one, all the way to day 12. Yes.
Okay.
It's going to be a good time. The workouts range anywhere between 15 and 20 minutes.
Okay.
So that is no excuse for anybody to say that they did not have the time, because all of the workouts are very much doable. I also have recommendations for modifications. I think I shared with you before, I am heavy into CrossFit, but what people, not to get off my promotion here, but what I think people typically get afraid when they hear CrossFit, but CrossFit equals functional fitness. That's what CrossFit is, right? So when you're doing those squats, a squat is the same movement that you use to go to the restroom. Right. And we want to be able to do squats. We want to be able to go to the restroom by ourselves as we get older.
Hey, come on.
Yeah. So I am so happy to have this challenge going on. It's just for 12 days. It's a way for all of us to keep our bodies moving during this busy holiday season when we swear we don't have the time because we're busy going to work, busy trying to find time to go shopping for Christmas Day. 15 to 20 minutes, that's all that I ask. You definitely can go onto my website at thefit404.com. The link is there. It right now is $37. That's it, $37 for the entire 12 days. After December 1st, it goes to $47. So it's going to be a lot of fun.
And I know you guys have a blast in the Atlanta area. For those of us who are not in the Atlanta area, you're going to have everything virtually, correct?
It will all be virtual. So one of the things that you have to do once you register for the challenge is download the Group Me app. And that is where I will be uploading all of the videos each day. And I'm basically forming a fitness community, right? So when you do the workout, I want you to send in a quick selfie, a quick note about the workout, how you felt during the workout, so that we can all talk about how we're feeling, how we got our bodies moving, what worked in the workout, what you had to modify. Because sometimes, you may see it written, like, for example, I'm just sharing a little piece. One of the days we're doing a minute wall sit, right, for 3 rounds.
Okay.
So you may not be able to do on day 1 a minute of wall sits for 3 rounds, but maybe you can do 30 seconds of wall sits for 3 rounds, right? And so if I have a wall sit on day 1, by the time we get to, I don't know, maybe day 8 or 9, maybe you've built up some strength to increase it from 30 seconds to 45 seconds, So that's my goal, just to help people understand that I am in the business of meeting you where you are. So we might start at 45 seconds, 30 seconds wall sit, but when you finish with me, we'll be able to do that entire workout painless, and you'll be so proud of yourself. You'll be proud. I'll be proud. Everybody will be proud. So yeah, that's what I'm doing this Christmas.
That's needed, Ebony. It's needed.
It is.
So many times we look at fitness coaches as, overbearing and so forth. And we know it's just to get the best out of you. I've been in organized basketball, organized football. Sometimes I've had coaches that were a little bit rough, but it's good to find coaches that'll meet you where you are, because some of them just like to see you drop, which I understand that too. It's kind of like military training, but it's ordered to break the psyche that I can't do anymore. I've heard that a lot in gyms. People say, man, I can't do anymore. This is too hard. And this is one thing I definitely want to bring up, because I know me and you talked about it, and I cannot wait for you to share your experience just like you did with me earlier. But there was the first trainer I actually had at a gym close to my house. We had about 12 or 13 people per session. And one thing that he harped on more than anything else was encouragement. He's like, if you are not doing an exercise, I want you cheering on and clapping for the person who is on the bench, or who's doing push-ups or pull-ups or jumping jacks. If it's not your turn and you have nothing to do and you finish your reps first, cheer on the person next to you. And he loved this so much, or he was so strict about it, that if there was a time where everybody, how everybody's just tired after something, they don't do it, he said, okay, it's too quiet in here. I want everybody to drop down and give me 5,000 push-ups. He would say something ridiculous. But we would have to do it. And that would, of course, motivate us to next time somebody's down there. Encouragement goes such a long way. And as a communications connoisseur, being able to speak life to people and speak power into people, when you're in the gym, it's like one of the places you need it most. Yeah. And I remember you telling me about your first CrossFit experience, something that I ain't had yet, but I will. But just share a little bit about that, because I found it inspiring.
Well, I will correct you on that, Brad, because you have had a little piece of CrossFit when you did my workout a couple weeks ago.
Hey.
That workout that we did is actually a CrossFit benchmark called Annie. Okay. So you have done it. You just didn't realize that you did.
I know. Well, look at me. I'm a CrossFit. Let's go, baby.
So yeah, like my CrossFit experience, I watched my daughter do sports her entire life. And I'm like, I was that mom, shamefully just sitting. I could have been walking, I could have been, I don't know, jogging or running, but I would just sit there in my lawn chair and watch her do all of her reps. I'm like, I'm good, right? No, don't worry about me. I'll watch you, right?
Right.
And so as she got older, we were nearing her high school career. And I'm a single mom. And so when we got close to that graduation time frame, I'm like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do with myself? Right. Because for these, 16, 17 years at that point, my world revolved around my daughter. Like that was just the reality. So she needed to go here. She needed to do sports. I was there. And I kind of put myself second. So I was like, I don't even know who I am at this point other than my daughter's mom. So I had a really good friend that invited me to her CrossFit gym. And I'll be honest, I initially told her, I was like, Black people do not do CrossFit. I will not going to do a CrossFit session. No, I'm good. And she was persistent. And so finally I was like, okay, I will go and do a session. I probably won't like it, but it's fine. I'll go. I didn't have anything else to do. Right. So I end up going. It was a later class. And I get in there and the members, they've been going there for a while. They know all of the movements. They know the terminology. And I'm just like, okay, just show me what to do. And I remember it distinctly. It was the strength portion of it was push press. And that's where you take the barbell from your shoulder overhead. You dip and you press the barbell overhead. And I'm like, okay, I can do this, right? Didn't have any form, didn't know anything. But I think not the first try, but by the time I was done with like the reps or whatever, I had gotten up to like, I don't know, like 100, 105 pounds. And everybody was cheering. And I'm like, am I doing something like I'm just this whatever, Yeah. So I felt really good in that moment. The people were there. You mentioned encouragement. Everybody was kind of rallying around, me doing this push press. And this was my first time in the gym. And so I was like, after the class, I was like, I really like how that felt. Right. I was kind of the star of the show that day. I'm like, I can come back and do this some more. So that was I guess, how do they say it? My first day in the CrossFit gym. Because now, I've been ever since. I've gone dang near every day since. I love going to the gym. It has changed my life. A little bit of that backstory with my daughter going off to, graduating high school. I was gaining weight too. Like by that time I was like in my 40, just hit 40-ish, something like that, and started gaining weight. I looked very different in the mirror. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like what is happening? And I feel like I hit some sort of like depression, right? I never sought out, what it was, but that's what it felt like in my head. And so going to the gym, I don't think I necessarily went to lose weight. I went because I was just trying to find something different to do, which resulted in me going consistently, which ended up changing how I looked, changing how I felt. The way that, again, I said this earlier, the way that I approach things is a lot calmer than I did before. And I love who I have become throughout this journey. I love it.
It's it's a subtle blessing that you never truly forget when you get to that point where you're ready for your baptism by fire. I like to call it.
Yes.
Because equally, I found myself probably over a decade ago now. I was 279 at 6'3", and I just thought, just a big brother. I always been big, but my doctor always told me at the physical, he said, you are on the verge of becoming all the negative things that we hear in the Black community: hyper stress, hypertension, heart problems. And plus, I was an asthmatic. I've since been cured, all thanks to the Father. But that was also a hindrance, a mental block for me too, because I couldn't run long distances. Whenever I was young and I played basketball, like full games or even pickup basketball, I would always get overheated or out of breath, and I would have to take my asthma pump. And the feeling of people knowing that I had to do that was also like discouraging. And so in my mind, I had a block. I was like, I can't be as healthy as I want. But it came down to that point where, just like you said, you look at yourself in the mirror, you see how things are changing, and you realize that the only person who's going to make the decision to at least start the change is yourself.
Yep.
Once you make that decision, it's going to be difficult. Nothing worth achieving is easy to obtain, like nothing. So when I saw that, I was like, I can still do it. And that's when I ran into my first lunatic trainer, who I was just telling you about. Wanted us to do everything in the gym and encourage for a full hour, your energy had to be on 100. But I tell you the truth, after every session, this is something else I like that he did. He had worship with the men. Now, it wasn't to say that he didn't do that. We all prayed together, but then he took the men off into a separate room where we read a scripture, because he was also heavily invested in Black men because of things that had gone on in his own family that he had seen.
Okay.
And so I really treasured that. And I looked at it as, if I can do something like this and transform myself physically from being an asthmatic, from being not able to run long distances and do all this stuff, and it inspires somebody else who maybe doesn't have those same limitations, but something else, and they just have the mental block. Because once you change that thinking, everything else is possible. So I definitely feel what you're saying when it comes to that, man. It's very important. Looking ahead into 2026, with all the plans that people may have for physical success, and let's say your ideal client is listening to you right now, and they have plans. I don't know, they're going back and forth. Like, should I start? Should I wait till January? Should I do this? What is some sound advice, or what would you want to say to your ideal client right now?
I think my words of encouragement is just very simple. We just have to do it. We have to block out all of the things that stop us from getting in the gym, right? Because I think a lot of the times we are so focused on the monetary success of our lives that we forget about the health piece, right? But what we don't realize is that if we don't have the health piece, there is no way for us to enjoy the monetary piece of it.
Precisely.
Right? So if you are on the fence about getting in the gym, you need to stop straddling the fence, right? We should not be waiting until we get a diagnosis that we need to get into the gym or that we need to change these habits. We need to get into the gym now. Now is the time.
Powerful.
So that is what I would say to my ideal client. Yeah.
For those of you who I know who have parents who are still blessed to be alive, I always find it interesting in the cycle of life. We come into this world completely helpless, dependent on two grown-ups for the majority of our lives. Let's say into adolescence at least, maybe early teenage years, depending on your situation. But then towards the latter end of life, past our 60s and 70s, especially if we haven't been making wise health decisions, we become childlike again. We become needing so much assistance. I recall my grandparents, before they passed away, my mother and her brother, who's my uncle, would constantly be over there checking on them, doing things for them, moving things around, taking them places, because they had the health to be able to do so. My father also, when his father was bedridden in a nursing home, he traveled down there because he didn't live here, to take care of him. And I look at myself and my brother, who was a little bit younger than me, we have the same responsibility. So my health or my discipline to get up in that gym doesn't just come from me. It comes from, I need to be able to take care of them if something should happen. So it's that added incentive. We all definitely want to be capable of something, man. So I appreciate your time with us here, Coach Eboni. I wish I really want to get into your CrossFit joke. I know there's several around here. I go to LA Fitness. It's big, it's broad, it's loud, and it's gaudy. And it has a lot of stuff in there that I can do, but they don't have like a CrossFit area with like the high bars all lined up. I know what it looks like, the boxes and the ropes. But I get in there and I'm able to do my thing, man. But I want people to be able to connect with you online. So one thing I definitely wanted to ask you is just to go ahead and just speak your socials. I'm gonna make sure they're in the details area of this video once it's completed. But just tell people how to connect with you real quick.
So I'm on Instagram at thefit404. I'm on TikTok, thefit404. My website is thefit404.com. And any one of those platforms, you can DM me, you can send me an email. My email is ebony@thefit404.com. Happy to chat with you. Fitness is my life. This is what I do. I'm actually working on getting my nutrition certification. I want to be a one-stop shop, right? 2026, the goal for 2026 is to have a mobile fitness truck.
Yeah, the truck, that's right.
Yes. That truck is amazing. It is literally a gym on wheels. I will be able to pull up so you can stop the excuses on telling me that you can't get to the gym, you don't have time, the babies are doing this, and I'll be right there waiting for you. So that is my goal. I think the more I do this, the more I get on platforms with you, like you, Brad, and just get out there on social. I understand the assignment. I understand that my purpose here is to bring fitness to all who are ready to start this fitness lifestyle, because it is life-changing.
It is.
It is life-changing.
It is. And I guess this would be a good moment to shout out how it is that we met. We met through an online community hosted by my good brother, Rod Brinson. I know those who follow me know who he is. He is a brand strategist, and he is the orchestrator and architect of a wonderful branding community called House of Brand. And that is where Miss Eboni and I met with a bunch of other like-minded entrepreneurs. It's such a good community. It's nothing like community. Like, we all need it. That's the accountability that we're experiencing right now. This is how this whole connection came to be. So big shout out to House of Brand and my man, Rod Brinson. Hopefully he gives me like 1,000 points in the next challenge. Just shout out Ebony too. I don't want to just Ebony 1,000 points, me 1,000 points. So Rod's going to
right.
But yeah, man, this has been a wonderful conversation. Definitely glad you're here. There are going to be a lot of people, I'm sure they're going to watch this, and I expect them to reach out and support, especially if there are any nutritionists or other coaches. It's good to mesh with like minds. You share ideas, maybe work out stuff. It's all good, always all good. So again, Ebony, I thank you for joining me this wonderful Sunday. I'm going to let you get back to you and your lovely family. And we're going to see you again next time, right here.
Yes.
ToneMasters. Thank you, sweetheart.
Thank you. Bye.